For many of us, the word home includes not just our family home, but also our hometown.
Probably won't be on TV, it was just for fun. And then it was on TV, and it was 2.2 million people watched it. There was a snowstorm on the East Coast that day.
Today we're getting together with Adam and Lily to talk about what they want in a home.
And we get to help them find a house that works better for their family.
What do you need?
We just need a little bit more space now that we have two girls.
What we're going to do is take a modern deadbolt lock, and we're going to fill all that back in with new wood, so it'll be nice and solid, and then we'll drill all our new holes and be like a new door.
He became famous unexpectedly, and now the troubles he faces are endless. Ben Napier was just a preacher's son with a hammer and a dream. Without warning, he hit a milestone that set him to stardom. But behind the charming smile and picture-perfect homes, Ben Napier and his wife were hiding battles that nearly tore it all down. What really happened when the cameras stopped rolling? And just how big are the troubles plaguing the couples? Join us as we unveil the heartbreaking tragedy of Ben Napier from Hometown.
We were doing things on our own, but we had lived in renovations, we had done them together, and we always say that the true test of a marriage is painting a room together or hanging curtains together.
The preacher's son. Ben Napier and his wife, Erin, have been sharing their lives with fans since their show Hometown premiered on HGTV in 2016. But the string of tragedies the couple faced is something only few know of. Before that, understand how it all began. Ben Napier's journey from the son of a preacher to a beloved television personality and master of his craft is one that has fascinated fans for a long time. Born in Collins, Mississippi, Ben was raised in a household anchored in strong Christian values. His father, a United Methodist minister, played a significant role in shaping his worldview. Early on, Ben appeared to be following in his father's footsteps, taking on the role of youth minister at Laurel First United Methodist Church. But as is often the case, life had other plans for him. Ben's early years were marked by a duality. There was his love for spiritual leadership on one hand, and a growing curiosity about building and crafting things with his hands on the other. He developed this curiosity because his father was not only a preacher, but also a handyman who introduced Ben to the world of woodworking. Ben recalled in a heartfelt Father's Day post how his dad was the first to show him how to build something, even giving him his very first set of tools. Without a doubt, it was this foundation that quietly began to reshape Ben's path from pulpit to something else. One thing fans don't know is that when Ben was a child, his family struggled to make ends meet. He explained that his dad was a big farmer who had a weird bank loan situation that was actually an illegal loan. He explained on the Whoa, That's Good podcast in 2025 that his perspective on heartache and loss was from watching his parents lose and rebuild and start over. Ben has two older brothers, and the family's finances were strained even further when his younger brother, Jesse Napier, unexpectedly arrived. However, the Napiers took advantage of sales and bulk buys to keep their brood fed. Long before Ben took up woodworking, his father showed off his own creative skills, building toys for his kids out of upcycled materials. Eventually, Ben's dad, Wayne Napier, switched careers, becoming a truck driver. Having skill was good, but Ben also pursued a degree in history at the University of Mississippi, further solidifying his fascination with the past. Naturally speaking, history and woodworking are separate interests that have nothing in common. For Ben, they complemented each other perfectly. His education deepened his appreciation for older structures and the narratives they hold, while his hands-on skills allowed him to restore these historical elements into usable beauty.
Turned out nice.
Very nice.
Let's hook the rails to the headboard.
Okay.
Toy and Corey's master bedroom. We went with, a nice gray on the walls. We've got the new carpet in, it's gray.
It was during his time at school that he met Erin, the woman who would not only become his wife, but also his greatest collaborator. Ben and Erin's love story is nothing short of cinematic. They met at Jones County Junior College and instantly formed a bond rooted in shared dreams and complementary talents. By the end of that year, they had already promised to marry, a commitment they followed through on in 2008. Their shared love for Laurel, Mississippi, led them to make the town their permanent home and dedicate their lives to its revitalization. Ben eventually left the youth ministry in 2014 and committed himself fully to woodworking and community building. This decision laid the groundwork for what would become HGTV's hometown. Alongside Erin, who had a background in graphic design, Ben began restoring old homes and furniture, blending craftsmanship with design and historical relevance. These small but meaningful projects gradually caught attention on social media, showcasing not just their talent, but their love for each other and for Laurel. Their shared commitment to community, preservation, and authenticity ultimately drew the attention of HGTV. The network saw in them what the town of Laurel already knew. While Ben and Erin were restoring houses, they were also reviving a culture, rebuilding a sense of place, and reminding people that home is something to cherish. Ben's transformation from preacher in training to nationally recognized craftsman is the perfect example of following one's heart, honoring one's roots, and building a life around the values that matter. It's also a story of how one man's decision to trade sermons for sawdust became the catalyst for a cultural revival in a small southern town. But how did a modest fixer-upper shared on Instagram end up becoming the foundation for a nationwide television phenomenon?
Everything goes. Close out. I mean, the entire layout of the house would change.
Yeah.
The beginning of fame. What began as a heartfelt desire to restore a single home in a sleepy southern town soon blossomed into a nationally televised movement. It was a modest fixer-upper and a simple hashtag. Back in 2014, Ben Napier began documenting the couple's renovation of their Laurel, Mississippi home on Instagram using the hashtag #ILiveInLaurel. With every post, Erin's design instincts and Ben's craftsmanship began to capture the attention of followers well beyond their town's borders. The home they were fixing was a personal mission. They wanted to breathe new life into a forgotten structure while preserving its soul. Little did they know HGTV was watching. A network executive stumbled upon Erin's Instagram posts and was immediately struck by the authenticity, visual storytelling, and strong chemistry between the couple. The combination of Southern charm, heartfelt design, and community commitment led HGTV to reach out with a proposition that would change their lives: a television pilot. The pilot, filmed in 2015, showcased everything that would come to define hometown. Ben's restoration of architectural details, Erin's creative use of vintage finds, and their natural rapport. The response was overwhelmingly positive. In January the following year, Hometown officially premiered on HGTV and quickly grew a loyal fan base. It wasn't just about watching homes being fixed. Audiences felt like they were part of a real-life love story and a larger movement to preserve American towns. By the end of the first season, it was clear that Hometown wasn't just another home renovation show. It was a cultural reset. While other shows emphasized flashy, modern redesigns, the Napiers focused on honoring a home's original charm. They emphasized heart over hype, meaning over marketability. Each home became a narrative of family, history, and design.
I'm really excited that we're going to get to use every inch of space in that bathroom. It was already huge, but it wasn't being used to the best of its ability because of that weird third vanity.
The tub hanging off the wall.
Yeah, so this whole reconfiguration of how the bathroom is going to be used.
Their honest approach was a breath of fresh air in a genre that often felt overly polished. The authenticity of the show can be credited to the Napiers' complete lack of television background. In fact, Ben and Erin had no experience in reality TV and were admittedly fans of Fixer Upper, which they only started watching after their deal with HGTV. This allowed them to enter the spotlight without preconceived notions of how to behave on camera, bringing a raw genuineness that resonated with millions. In 2017, the show began to gain national attention. Viewers across the country were tuning in not just to watch old houses transform, but to witness the transformation of a town. Laurel's coffee shops, bakeries, bookstores, and antique stores were suddenly bustling with tourists and fans hoping to catch a glimpse of the iconic couple. Or better yet, buy a house and have it featured on the show. By 2023, Hometown had aired over 80 episodes and become the most watched real estate show on Agent Wealth Hustle's list. Its continued success also paved the way for multiple spin-offs, expanding the Napiers' influence even further. Their on-screen charisma and personal integrity are just part of the secret sauce. Viewers are drawn to their relationship, marked by mutual respect, humor, and shared dreams. Ben's humor and warm-hearted nature blend seamlessly with Erin's emotional intelligence and creativity. Together, they show what it means to truly collaborate in both marriage and business. A standout moment came in the premiere episode, Big Renovation in a Small Town, when the couple helped first-time homeowners Laura and Ross transform a tiny shotgun house into a cozy, functional space. Erin's eye for design created bright and welcoming interiors, while Ben cleverly crafted furniture to optimize the home's small layout. It set the tone for everything. The show would become sincere, strategic, and deeply personal. The couple's consistent message has always been clear. It's not about making the biggest or trendiest house. It's about making a house feel like home. And with each passing season, they prove that revitalization is not just about real estate. It's about restoring pride, connection, and memory. But what really happens to Ben behind the scenes of these transformations?
I moved around a lot growing up, so we don't have that place that we grew up that we're connected to, and I hope that this can become that for my family.
Long health challenges. As much as Hometown radiates joy, nostalgia, and optimism on screen, real life has a way of testing even the most resilient spirits. For Ben Napier, that test came in the form of a serious health challenge, one that forced him to step back, reassess his role on the show, and prioritize his well-being like never before. In 2023, viewers began to notice something unusual. Ben was missing from several episodes or seen only briefly. This absence didn't go unnoticed by fans who had come to admire his hands-on approach and signature humor. Eventually, Erin revealed that Ben had undergone rotator cuff surgery to address long-standing shoulder issues, pain that he had been quietly managing behind the scenes for years. The surgery involved cartilage trimming, removing bone spurs, and repairing the rotator cuff in his right shoulder, the same arm he used for much of his carpentry. While the procedure was successful, the recovery was anything but easy. For someone like Ben, who thrives on physical activity and craftsmanship, being told to rest was frustrating and disorienting. Erin later shared that the hardest part for Ben wasn't the surgery itself, but it was the recovery. Used to lifting heavy materials and working with tools every day, he suddenly found himself sidelined. For the first time in years, he had to delegate tasks to others on the crew, trust them to carry out his vision, and focus on healing. Even the smallest movements caused pain, and his presence on set was limited to ensure proper healing. To make matters more complex, Ben's health journey didn't end with his shoulder. In 2025, Erin posted an update about another issue plaguing her husband: chronic ankle pain from an old basketball injury. After living with discomfort for years, Ben began undergoing stem wave therapy, a non-invasive regenerative treatment that uses sound waves to stimulate healing in joints and tendons. While it wasn't a cure, the therapy dramatically reduced his pain from a 12 out of 10 to around a 4. Though the therapy brought relief, Ben still faces the possibility of needing a total ankle replacement in the future. Yet, despite the uncertainty, he remains optimistic and committed to his recovery. He's adjusted his daily routine, incorporating more gentle activities and stepping away from intense manual labor when needed.
We like to think that all design is personal.
Yeah, I don't think there is necessarily a design fail.
But
I think there's interesting choices.
There are interesting choices, yes.
But the shoulder surgery and ankle pain weren't the only wake-up calls. Around the same time, Ben became concerned about his weight and blood pressure. He realized that the physically demanding nature of his job, paired with the demands of fame, had taken a toll on his health. So he made a decision that would alter his lifestyle permanently. Get healthy. With Erin's full support, Ben began a weight loss journey that combined intermittent fasting, light cardio, yoga, and a total dietary overhaul. He also built a gym on their property, an airy, sunlit space where he could work out in privacy. Over 3 years, he lost nearly 100 pounds. Erin noted that even though she loved him at any size, she's proud of how he reclaimed his strength and stamina, especially for the sake of being a present husband and father. What makes Ben's health journey even more inspiring is how openly the couple talks about it. They've never sugarcoated the challenges or hidden the emotional toll. Erin has described the fear she felt watching Ben recover, and Ben has admitted to struggling with the identity shift that came with physical limitations. But through it all, they leaned on each other. Their transparency not only humanized them further in the eyes of fans, but also inspired countless viewers facing similar health battles. Ben's story is now not just about restoring old homes. It's about restoring oneself. It's about resilience, recovery, and learning to rebuild from the inside out. But while health can shake the foundation of a person, success can expand it. Hometown may be a national success, but even the show has gone through things that brought people to tears, and the couple had to ask for help. What happened to the beloved show that caused such an uproar?
How would you describe your personal style?
My mama always said I liked a nice shade of beige.
Oh yeah?
And then I like furnishings and art.
I'm so with you.
Dream on the brink of collapse. Tragedy struck unexpectedly when a fire tore through the Heirloom Hotel just days after stars Erin and Ben Napier celebrated completing the highly anticipated renovation project. Erin took to Instagram to share the truly heartbreaking news with fans, asking for prayers for her friends and co-developers Mallory Raspberry, Jim Raspberry, and Joshua Nowell. She said the day felt like a funeral, but she also expressed optimism, saying she knew her people would not give up. She asked for support. The early morning fire broke out around 5 a.m. on 26, damaging the top floor of the historic building before firefighters from the Laurel Fire Department were able to contain it. The hotel, known as the Heirloom, was a centerpiece of the Napier's new HGTV spin-off, Hometown, In This Together, which followed the team's renovation of the former Crest building in downtown Laurel. Scheduled to begin welcoming guests early next year, the hotel was set to have 30 rooms, including 8 suites, and was going to be a symbol of Laurel's revitalization. The Heirloom's official Instagram page also mentioned the heartbreak, writing, "The weight of this reality is hard to put into words. It's not about the loss of wood, brick, or paint. It's about the grief we feel for the countless hands that have worked tirelessly over the past year." Breathing life back into this 25,000 square foot space. Every hammer swing, every brush stroke, every late night, this building has been a true labor of love. They went on to explain how the community came together immediately after hearing the sad news, with people asking how they could help, and offering the heirloom team warm meals as they begin to rebuild. Fans of Hometown and the Napiers quickly flooded social media with messages of encouragement. Fellow HGTV star Jenny Mars commented, "Oh, Aaron, I'm so sorry. Praying right now for you all." Others echoed by saying, "Our hearts are broken for y'all." And "My heart is broken for y'all and this town," praying for both comfort and direction. Despite the setback, the Napiers and the hotel's team remain determined. With the assistance of their community and fans rallying behind them, it's clear that the story of the Heirloom Hotel is far from over. Beyond screen, there's a tragedy that has plagued the Napiers for years, and it has to do with Aaron. What is the sad story about Aaron that only a few know of?
The house finally has style.
Yeah.
It didn't have any kind of personality whatsoever before.
Oh
I love
my
the front
gosh.
door. Oh my goodness.
Does it feel like a carport?
I can't even remember what it looked
I
like
know.
before.
String of tragedies. What many fans don't know is that in 2014, the same year that the couple found out their show had been picked up by the network, Aaron had also solved a 10-year health problem. Since then, the HGTV star has dealt with other physical and mental health issues. Scroll down for everything we know about her surgeries and more. In 2018, Aaron revealed that she had previously suffered from a mysterious illness for 10 years before doctors were able to diagnose her. She and Ben shared the story in their memoir, Make Something Good Today. Aaron was diagnosed with a perforated appendix, but it took a decade of pain to find out what was wrong. She revealed that the issues, which started as 24 hours of terrible stomach pain and a low-grade fever, began when she was 19. By 2008, the episodes lasted 2 or 3 days, and Aaron was sometimes in bed for a week because of the pain. When CT scans didn't show anything out of order, Aaron's OB/GYN urged her to have exploratory surgery in 2014. The procedure revealed that all of Aaron's organs were fused together and covered in tissue. During a second surgery, doctors finally discovered that Aaron's appendix had been bursting and healing itself for 10 years. Aaron explained that the first time it happened, when she was 19, it just partially ruptured. Not enough to kill her, just enough to make her sick, adding that the appendix became covered in scar tissue when it healed itself, and that eventually began spreading to the rest of her organs. Doctors had to remove Aaron's appendix and the tissue, but there's more to that. Due to the procedure, doctors told Aaron that it was unlikely she'd be able to have children. She revealed in the memoir that she was very sad. The thought of not being able to have children was devastating to the couple. But Rin was optimistic. She revealed that if children weren't in the plan biologically, they would adopt, and if they couldn't adopt for some reason, having each other would be enough. The health challenges continued though. In May 2022, Aaron revealed that she was hospitalized after having a throat procedure. At the time, she did not specify why she had to have the surgery. However, in January the following year, she explained what happened in a post on X. According to her, she was hospitalized with an abscessed tonsil during an episode. When she returned, several other episodes had her with a weird voice and super puffy face from IV steroids. Because of her past physical health issues, Erin Napier has also dealt with mental health struggles. She opened up about what she was going through in an Instagram post. For a long time, she thought she had put all issues to bed with the final surgery. Her appendix had been gone, along with the physical suffering, for 8 years. But she learned through conversation with her friend, who was a therapist, that all those issues left some deep ruts in her neural pathways that left her with an extreme fear and preoccupation, with sickness, nausea in particular. She explained that her brain sets off on a fight-or-flight mission to save her life, when her life is not in any danger at all. She also revealed that she currently suffers from panic attacks and spiraling thoughts, and said she was able to recognize what was happening when everything was brought to the surface by the constant upheaval and dread that came with living in the COVID-19 pandemic. It is undeniable that the Napiers have been through very tough times, but in all, they still remain true to their purpose. Are there other tragedies of the Napiers that you know? And how do they keep the show running with all troubles? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. Remember to like, share, and subscribe for more. Also, click the next video showing on your screen. You will enjoy it.